Welcome back to the Entrepreneurial Edge. I'm Chris Bishop. For show updates, you can now follow us on Twitter. Our handle is EntrePEdge. And if you have any thoughts or suggestions, what you'd like to share with us, you can drop us an email on entrep@abn360.com. Now, still in the studio with me, I have Margaret Hirsch, the co-founder and COO of Hirsch's, the famous appliance store. So one of your big things you've stressed here is training and getting people virtually, as you say, off the streets in the last 34 years and getting them into your store. Now, I'm told that one of the things you do is you ask someone to sing and dance and do something like that when they first come in. I mean, what kind of reaction do you get?
Well, obviously they're very shocked usually, but we tell them before they come in, they have to come in with an open mind and a good attitude. That's all I need. I can train skills, but I can't train attitude. So I personally also trained at Disney University in America. And as you walk up to Disney University, if you're going to get a job at Disney, you walk up this sort of ramp, and if you don't have a smile on your face, you can't even fill the form in. So I always tell people when they come in, they have to come in with a good attitude. So I try and choose people who have a smile on their face when they come in. And then when we start our meetings in the morning, we always start off with a song, and we all sing, but we all sing together. I don't make them sing by themselves.
This is training.
Yes.
So everyone sings. So what kind of songs do you pick? I mean,
we pick motivational songs like I believe I can, I believe I will, I believe I know, my dreams are real. Or we do Glee, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, you know, because sometimes you're feeling like that. So I choose motivational songs.
But there must be some good stories out of that. I mean, surely some days perhaps people don't feel like it or something. I don't know. You must have some stories.
Well, you know, the nice thing is when they start off, they all, you know, we clap. We clap to the music, and they sort of clap very quietly. And then as they get going, boy, they're there and they're revving and they're clapping. And I have people who say, I don't feel comfortable doing this. I say, that's okay. You can just stand and watch us. And when we all do it, then they do it as well. And, you know, when you sing and you're breathing differently, it just makes you feel better, and all your little happy pills come out of your pituitary gland into your body.
But what do you think it does for your business? I mean, as an entrepreneur, all this kind of thing.
Well, it just makes work much more fun. Work has to be fun. You know, you'd work for such a long time today, and but by the time you leave home, you get to work, you work all day and you get home. It's a long time that you're out of home. So you've got to have it fun. So we make it fun. On spring day, we all wore flowery dresses, and you know, we're always doing something. On Saturday, it was our 12th birthday of our Homestores store, so we had birthday cake and singing and dancing all the time. So we make work fun.
What would you say is your greatest success story as an entrepreneur? I mean, taking someone literally from the street.
Well, I think that my greatest success story was the lady who came to work for me at my farm named Paulina. She was the maid's maid. And she came in and she was a wonderful person, and she just started to learn, and she just did that little bit more, and she helped in the kitchen. And one day I just needed a tea lady at work, and I quickly put in a car and I said, Paulina, we're off to go to, you're going to be the tea lady today. And she was a tea lady, and she was the best tea lady. And she just worked really hard, and she knew everything. She was curious, and she was really, really good. And long story short, Paulina is now one of my top sales ladies. She owns her own home. She's very well paid, and she is such a happy person. She is really fantastic. She has a standard 3 education, and she can work that computer like a whiz, and people just love her because she's got such a lovely attitude. So I'd say she's probably my best success story.
And I'm sure you've moved many, many people through your business.
Lots and lots, yes.
Has there been any people that sometimes don't make the grade and fail?
Yes, you always get those that fall by the wayside, you know, and I just saw one of the fellows, and often they're not honest, and our 3 criteria, honesty, integrity and loyalty, those are the 3 things you have to work at Hirsch's. And he wasn't honest, and he lost his job. And I actually saw him standing outside the supermarket the other day selling homemade cook sisters, and he was barefoot, and I just said to him, you know, Johan, you had every opportunity at Hirsch's. Why did you do that? And he said, I honestly can't tell you why I did it. So yes, we do have them that fall by the wayside, but luckily 99%. They're there, they're up running, and they're with us, they're working with us every day.
Give us some sort of idea of scale. How many people do you take in a year? And what's your total workforce?
Well, it just depends, because our workforce is so multifaceted. We have cashiers, we have warehouse people, we have salespeople, but we have a whole lot of other people who work with us. And I enjoy setting people up in their own businesses. So for instance, our drivers, they all work for themselves. They have their own vehicles, they employ their own staff, and they give me an invoice and I pay them for the work that they do. Our technicians, because don't forget, we'll come to your house and we'll fix your stove or your washing machine or whatever it is. And those people, I set them up in their own businesses with their their trucks and their tools and everything, and they come to the house, they fix the appliance. We have DSTV installers. We have, if you buy your TV and your hi-fi from us, we'll come and we'll set it all up for you, and we'll tune it in your bedroom and that type of thing. So we have all those type of people who work for us. We have cooking demonstrators. We have cooking teachers. I employed full-time trainers in my branches, one in Durban and one in Joburg, to train the staff. So we have so many different aspects of people working for us. Yeah, it's amazing.
One of the complaints that entrepreneurs have who come on this program, they say sometimes finding young people to train up and to work, it's a problem.
Finding people who want to work is a huge problem. There's lots and lots of people, they all want the job, but when it comes to working, then they start to say, no, they're not keen on this. And today people say to me, what do you need to get ahead? And I say, hard work is number 1, discipline is number 2, and perseverance is number 3. If you have those 3 attributes, you will definitely get ahead, because most people don't have them.
What do you think is the problem with the youth of today, should I say?
They're too spoiled. They're too spoiled. They see everything happening on TV, and everything just happens and everything falls into their lap, and they think in the real world it's going to happen like that, and it really doesn't. It really doesn't. Today, to get ahead, you have to work extremely hard, consistently. You have to be very disciplined, and there's not many people who have those attributes.
What do you think? There's 2 schools of thought. One school of thought says that, as you said, we're too spoiled. There's another school of thought that says sometimes people, when they've come from a long line of suffering, there's that feeling, oh, well, I'm not going to get on anyway.
Well, that's my favorite when somebody comes in, and especially the new people. I say, how are you? They say, I'm suffering. And I say, do you realize if you say that, you will be? So let's just change your train of thought. So how I change their train of thought is I put an elastic band around their arm like this, and every time they say something negative, I go like that. And very soon they stop saying negative things, and as they stop saying the negative things to themselves, everything starts going well in their life, and things start going positive for them.
And as you said before the show, your workers, you put it around and you let it go when they say the word recession.
Yes.
But surely it's not that easy to get rid of. Everyone's been suffering these last 4 or 5 years now.
Well, not everyone's been suffering. We've been doing extremely well.
Why do you think that your business is special?
Well, because we have positive thoughts. We think, and I know that we live in a country of wealth and abundance, which we do. And if you just focus on the positive, you know, we use a training video called Whale Done, where they teach the killer whales to jump over ropes. Now, that killer whale weighs 9,000 pounds. They can't hit it, they can't shout at it. The only thing they can do is ignore the negative and reinforce the positive. And that's what we do with our staff and our customers and our lives. We ignore the negative, we reinforce the positive. And as you focus on positive things, so you draw more positive things into your life.
But surely, though, it must be difficult to overcome the fact that even people like myself, I'm a regular appliance buyer as a family man, and if I see something that's on its way out, I think, maybe I'll get one next month, maybe the month after, or maybe next year, purely because of everyone suffering at this particular time. How do you get around that?
Well, if you know, people today, and appliance is a necessity. It's not something that you just have. So if your washing machine breaks and you don't want to buy a new one, we come and fix it, and we will fix it until we say to you it's not worth fixing anymore. Now it's time to buy a new one. Same with your fridge. If your fridge breaks, you have to have a fridge. You can't live without it anymore. So we'll come and we'll fix your fridge for you until such time as you can gather the pennies to come and buy a new one.
How much have you had to tighten your belts, though, in this time? I mean, it's been affecting everybody.
Yeah, no, I mean, the going is tough, but we just have to work harder. In the tough times, you know, when it gets tough, the tough get going. And we've just really worked harder. We put more effort into it. We've done more promotions. We go out and knock on drops. We have coffee and muffin mornings where we go into big companies and we make them coffee and we give them muffins in the morning and we chat to them about our business. We teach domestic workers how to work their appliances so they don't break them so much. We teach school children, you know, what it's like to come into the workplace, because a lot of school children have no idea when they get to work what they've got to do. Nobody ever told them. So we bring them into our stores and we teach them what it's like to be in the workplace. So we do a lot of extra things that we never did before, just to keep going and to keep getting ahead.
Well, a lot of people are saying in these difficult times, as you know, most consumer goods are suffering. And people say, well, if everybody took 10% off every price, they'd be knocked off their feet at the end of every month. People coming to buy. Is that too simplistic or what?
Well, in the old days you made 10%. Today you don't. You know, you really, the margins are getting narrower and narrower, and you have to sell more and more. So yeah, I think that's what it is. People have this illusion that you're making these huge profits. You've got to sell a lot of stuff at very little markup to make your money today.
And also you're diversifying a bit. You're becoming an author in the cookery book world, and we were talking before the show saying how these cooking programs on TV are very, very popular.
They're very popular today. The most watched program by teenagers in South Africa is MasterChef. So cooking is becoming more and more popular. And I've always been cooking since my days of microwave. I used to have a cookery school. In fact, at one stage I had 5 cookery schools. And at the end of the time of the cookery schools, my friend Vanessa and I put all our recipes into a book, which we still have. And it was 439 pages. But I'm a vegetarian, and I found that a lot of people didn't cater for vegetarians. They didn't know what to give you if you came around. So I've just written a vegetarian cookbook with my same friend Vanessa, who now lives in Portugal. We wrote it over the internet, we put it together, and I launched it at the House and Garden show in Durban, which was in July. And it was really wonderful because I was doing the launch and we cooked a whole lot of products from the show, from the book in the show. And I looked up and I said, does anybody want to come and help me up on the stage? And this little voice said, I'll help you. And it was Dean and Naidu. And at that stage we didn't know he was going to win MasterChef. And he came up and he cooked with me, and he's such a lovely guy, and we had such a wonderful time.
Well, with your love of cooking, would you ever give it all up and go and run a restaurant in Paris or something?
No, I don't think so. Working with food is really hard work, I have to tell you. It's not easy. So probably not. I love what I do. I'm handing over the reins of my business to my son. So we were going to talk about succession planning. In any business, you've got to always have a successor. You've got to have somebody coming up to take over the reins. And I'm very, very lucky to have the most wonderful son who has been in the business from day one. And he has worked overseas as well. He worked for a clothing store in London, so he knows retail, and he's taking over the business. In fact, our management team is very, very young. I think the average age is about 34.
And it's a succession plan.
And this is our succession plan. And so he's taking over the reins, and it's leaving me free to teach, which I love doing. And at the moment, my focus is teaching teachers, because I believe the teachers of the world, and especially of this country, are our future, because they've got to teach the up-and-coming generations. Because I now have 2 little grandsons, and I see what they do at school, and it's just amazing. I think they're born clever these days.
And we've been talking about entrepreneurs for the last half an hour. Who's your hero, shall we say, in the entrepreneur world?
Well, I love Donald Trump, because he's just himself. He just doesn't care what anybody thinks. He says what he likes. He does what he likes. He's been up, he's been down, and I just think he's got such a wonderful way about him. He's just himself.
So he does get a lot of criticism, as you say.
He does. Well, you know, when you're in the public eye, you do get criticism. I get a lot of criticism as well. I had to laugh because I was doing a radio interview the other day, and the interviewer was interviewing me, and I was talking away as I am now, and at the end of it, he didn't know that I hadn't cut the call, because I didn't know if I had to cut the call or not. And I heard him say to his compatriot, wow, she's really bossy, isn't she?
Well, the radio never lies, as they say. Yeah? Margaret Hirsch, thank you very much for sharing your insights here on the Entrepreneurial Edge, and we look forward to seeing you again on the programme.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for this week, but be sure to join us same time next week. Until then, from me, Chris Bishop, it's goodbye.